We are back, and I added some more details to my cup. I added some more little leaf things to try to make it kind of look like a cartoonish kind of tree. I added more of my little cartoon pieces here of my dinosaurs, and I did some background details. And now we need to do some low relief. So we have carving, which is subtractive, and we have our additive pieces here. And so now the last thing that we need to do is our low relief. Now we're going to try a couple different ways, because normally we use like this little hook tool in class, and we don't have that. We couldn't get everybody one of those. So I'm going to go through and we're going to try it with a toothpick here, and then we'll try another route that I think might work as well. So now that I've got all my little carvings on here where I want them, now I'm going to try to make them pop out from the background. So all we're going to do is we're going to carve the background away from an object to make it look like it's popping out. Sounds pretty easy, right? So what I would do is I would just go through, can you guys see this? Let's see. Go through and carve the object where I want to carve around it, take the background away. And with my toothpick, I'm going to do it kind of on its side, and I'm going to maybe try to shave off. Oh, that works pretty good. Just kind of shave off this edge that's created when you carve it. So you're just going to kind of shave off the edge and blend it into the background. So you can take your finger and just kind of blend that away. And you can kind of see that it makes this piece here look like it's popping out from the background when you blend it into the background. So you're just going to go around and just kind of take off that little triangular piece or that edge away from it. And we're going to try another method too after this, just in case this doesn't work well for some of you. So I'm just going around and just kind of carving, filing off that little bit of an edge there to make it look like this little piece is popping out from the background. So I'm just using the side of my toothpick, and I'm just kind of shaving it off there. I think it's working pretty good, actually. So that's how you do low relief. And it doesn't have to be super deep, guys. It can just be a light, taking off of that little edge. And you want to just kind of blend it away and smooth it out as you go. Just make sure you don't mess up any of the other details here. So again, I'm just kind of blending this out. And I literally am not doing anything like extra or special to this already. Like I literally just took my thing and did this line here to carve it on, and now I'm just taking this little edge away with using my toothpick as a side, like on the side, just kind of shaving it off. And then I'll take my thumb and kind of blend that out so you don't see that line. And then anything in the background that maybe I kind of carved that back out, I just kind of go through and reattach. Okay, so it's super easy, and then you just go around. It sounds hard, to do the low relief because you're carving the background away, but I'm literally just doing little tiny bits and then blending it. You don't have to carve off the whole background, just the little edge. You want to make sure, though, that you keep that nice crisp line on the other side so that you can see it, that it's popped out. Okay, so make sure too that when you guys get pictures of your work, that you show me, that I can see in the pictures that you have the low relief, because if this one's going to be tough to see. So I'm just going around my little horn. The other option that I was going to use in case this one didn't work was a bobby pin. I think probably a lot of the ladies probably have bobby pins, but I'm not sure about the boys. So my other option would be to use a bobby pin. And there you can kind of see it. And you can see this little hook here. And that you could go through and kind of carve away, and then you just blend out that line. So that works pretty good too. So ladies, maybe share some of those bobby pins with the guys if you have the bobby pins. It's not going to work to get into like super tight areas, so you might have to maybe do a mixture of both, but it does work pretty nice to just kind of take that little edge off there and then just blend it away. Yeah, I like it. All right, that's working pretty good. And you don't have to do, like, you could just get away with just doing one object on your thing. You don't have to do multiple. I was just going to show you guys with this guy the other option to do the carving. But yeah, you only have to do like one object. So you don't have to get crazy. If you want to do all of them, great. That's awesome. But you don't have to. So again, I just carved like regular with our toothpick. And now on this one particular one, I'm using a bobby pin to go through. And like I said, a bobby pin is going to work pretty good, but not on super tight details, just because it's got that kind of a, you can't really change that edge really. So it would work really good to go around him. I'm not going to lie though, guys, it's a little hard to hang on to. I mean, the toothpick is too, but this kind of rotates in my hands. But see, like now that I have like all this little detail in here, I'm going to have to go back and do the other one around some of that tighter detail. But it works pretty good for just going pretty quick, I guess. And then I would use my toothpick to go around the arms. And maybe like around like the feet and stuff. So just remember, when you're done doing all your carving, all these little boogers you want to get off of here. So sometimes like they get kind of jammed back into the detail. So you're going to want to go back over some of your detail once it gets more leather hard. And just like you can take your fingernail and kind of scrape them off of there. If they go back into the line that you want, then just go back over the line a little bit with a toothpick, or pencil would work too. You just want to make sure that you're getting all those boogers off there, because if we fire these, those boogers are going to become a razor sharp. Razor sharp. And then I'm just going to extend back that line too to go back towards behind the monster, or I guess he could be a monster, but he's my dinosaur. Okay. So just go around and clean up little bits that you need to clean up. It's always going to be a lot easier to clean things up when it's in this state. If you wait until we fire it, then it's going to become way more difficult. You'd have to sand it. Sanding creates terrible, terrible dust, clay dust. So clean everything off that you can before you fire it. I tried to make a little fern here, but it got real boogery, so I could go through and kind of just skim off some of those boogers and then go back through and make some of the lines a little bit more prominent again. And then my garage is super cold right now, so the clay isn't drying out nearly as fast as if I were like in the house with it. So you guys are going to have to kind of play around with that, because definitely like as it gets to be rainy season, the rain and the moisture in the air 100% affects our projects drying. So sometimes that, maybe in the summertime it would only take us a day for the project to get leather hard. It might take 3 days now because it's raining outside and there's just more moisture in the actual air. So again, I'm with my little pterodactyl. I think I like the toothpick better. I can get into the details a little easier. So I'm just going around and just taking off that edge to create the illusion that it's in front of the background. And you can take it off a little bit further if you want to. But the idea is you want to smooth it out to where you don't see that line much anymore. You want to see the line of your image, but not of this side. You want that to be nice and seamless. So you can see I'm going through and I'm like picking off the little extra piece. Oh, you can't see that, picking off, and I'm just scraping it onto my hands. Those little things that'll be creating boogers. And just blending it in nice. And you can see too, I'm having to rotate my cup in all different directions to get the angles that I want. So, I mean, it can be real fun. If you guys are real detail oriented, it could be, a nightmare if you guys aren't. I'm kind of in between. I like to do some of this kind of detail is fun for me, but I totally get it too. Like sometimes it's just boring going over and over and over the same kind of things. Now, because I already put this added on piece, it's going to be real tough for me to get around that head. So I'm going to have to get creative with how I do that. Maybe that's where I'll use that bobby pin again. Maybe it'll give me like the reach that I need. Let's try this. Because I can't get quite the angle that I would want. Yeah, that worked out pretty good actually. So maybe the bobby pin works for little angles that are hard. And then it's hard for me to get my finger there without trying to knock that off. So then I can always use try to use my pencil to blend a little bit. Can you see that? Okay. Try to get my pencil to blend a little bit. The back there. Just trying to make it more of a smooth, gradual transition. And don't worry about pencil lines. Those are all just going to burn away when we fire it. So you don't have to worry about those. Go back and touch up any little details that you need. If you get an area where you need to really smooth it out, you can use your wet paintbrush. If you have a wet paintbrush, then you can use that to help blend. It'll help you get in those hard to reach areas. It'll also help. I'm not sure if it really helps with boogers, but it helps with cleaning up any slip areas that might be needing cleaning, but you just want to go around and clean up little edges and whatnot. Okay, so once you think you have it nice and smoothed out and you go through all your little details that you want to make sure that you have all your lines nice and neat, then make sure you put your name on the bottom. And sometimes, because I do this multiple years in a row, I'll put the year, like the school year, on the bottom. I just like to do things like that, because then I can look back in my pottery and go, oh yeah, that was this year, or that was that year. All right, guys, and then there is your pot. Make sure you have your subtractive, your low relief, and then your additive. Okay, make sure too that your sketches show that. And it's okay if it's a little bit different than what your sketches are in the end product, just you need to have them labeled of where those things are going to be at. All right, I do believe that is all for the Zoom mug. On to the next one.